if you think about normal sexual relationships, when it's really animalistic, it's in this part of our being. But when we start to have ideals and an emotional content, then for the sexual thing to get going, there needs to be some sort of emotional rapport. And then when it gets a bit higher, there needs to be a strong love and a feeling aspect before the whole energy starts to flow. Really, we're doing this all the time, we just don't understand. Now, feelings are very important, but they ain't it. You know, I feel sad, stiff shit. I feel this, you know, I stick a pin in it, I feel a prick, there's a prick around here. But, you know, from a spiritual point of view, within reason, we need to be able to change our feelings at will and not be possessed by them, not suppress them, but realise they're not the ruling aspect. They're a very powerful part, but they're not the ruling aspect of our being. Now up here in the throat is called Buddhi Manas, or its higher mind. This is the intuition, which is feeling, and this is a mind that is mindful of the intuition. It's no longer just a feeling, it starts to become it's not intellectual, but the mind takes those feelings and they start to turn into thought processes and higher insight, etc., etc. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, in Tantra, the practitioners will work the sexual energy till it comes to a point, and then there's a word expressed to invoke a deity. Make sense? Now, at this point, one of the exercises that is really important to contemplate. What is it we're saying? As an exercise, just listen to what you say. You know, there's a cup of tea. You've done that one? You know, people have a cup of tea and they sit down and they bullshit. And hearing and speaking are, you know, the same chakra. And if you look at this process, so I don't do cup of tea, they don't even listen to one another. You know, everybody's sort of getting off their stuff and bullshitting about, oh, I don't like Rudd, and the other bloke's going, by the state of origin was bad. And someone else is, you know, on about something, you know, and no one's really listening. They're just getting it off. Now we've got to this throat centre. The chakras are the elements. This is the earth, water, fire, air, the first spirit. Threefold spirit. 1, 2, 3. Now, have you done the listening exercise? When you listen, when you really listen, everything gets still and you come to peace. It's a dynamic. And if you listen, you hear the like a white noise, and the energy builds. And if you're still, the energy builds even more. And then you can start to have a change of consciousness. Now, in this dynamic, when this occurs, it's elevating. And you start to see things differently, or really don't give a fuck about what matters. Does that make sense? So what will the alchemists extract from the elements? A thing called the quintessence. The dynamic that's in matter, the fire within matter. So when we listen, we extract our ego and all that dynamic within the elements. You know, the element earth is I'm depressed, the element water is I'm moody, the element fire is I'm fiery, and the element air is I'm thinking all the time. When we extract the quintessence from that, we've got this dynamic, freed from the illusion of the elements, or freed from matter, so to speak. So our perception potentially changes. And if you just listen, it does change. And as regards to healing, you know, the greatest healers don't do anything, but they listen. Now, it's not pretending they're listening, it's really listening. Now, when you really listen, there's a dynamic that is there. You're present. None of us can give any more to anyone than our presence and being there. You know, we can give $50 million, but that's not ours to give anyway. But if we give of ourselves, we're present in the moment. And in that state, miracles can occur. You know, how many people get better when someone's listened to them? And it's such a simple thing. Well, this stuff is really simple. It's that simple we don't see it. So extract the first of the spirit principles. The second one is up here. It's in Tantra, the word spoken, the vision of the deity is seen or visualised. Generally, if it's really happening, it's seen, it's not a visualisation. And the energy descends. That's those three centres. Does that make sense? 1, 2, 3. Now you know the Christos meditation, you've been doing that. And there's 5 letters.
Figure eight.
Yep.
There's 5 letters. There's 4 that create a picture of a man or a woman, and there's another one that sits on the crown. That's the Spirit of God, the energy. And that's 3 letters in one. There's the three yods, or three flames of the Shin. 1, 2, 3. Here's the centres. Now that's the central shaft or staff that the serpents twirl around. Then you get the idea of the dynamic of love and sexuality and the centres. And this is, when you do the figure 8 meditation, it gets the energy going, it can bring stuff up, but it's that dynamic. You're working with you know what an archetype is? Well, this is an archetypal language. Alchemy is archetypal language. Kabbalah and magic are all archetypal language. In the Kabbalah, there are 4 worlds. The highest world is called Azaluth, the divine world, or the world of the archetypes. So if you consider, where's our flame?
Just right here.
Where is it? Ah, there it is. You've done the flame stuff, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
The flame, the part of the flame that's all-encompassing is the letter Yod. And if you look at the letter Yod, it's like a flame. Now that's the world of Azaluth, or the divine world, the archetypal world. Now that archetype contains all the worlds within it. It contains the light, the blue-black flame, and the burning. You get the idea? So this archetypal language contains everything. It's a divine language. And as it unfolds, the divine essence unfolds with it. And these symbols have been around ever since. And they've survived thousands of years because within them is the hidden knowledge or the way. And that only opens when this starts to open. You get a feel sometimes when you see some of this archetypal language, or that you get a feel for it, and it might draw you in, or if you've got fear, you'll hit it, whatever. But when things move to here...
Is that kind of like where you feel there's energy in something, but you don't know what
Yeah.
Like the bird is significant, you can feel there's a message in it, but you don't know what it is?
Yeah, or you look at that and go, oh, there's something there, but I don't know what it is. But you've got a feel about it, an intuition that sort of does something.